I got my first paycheck from the dead mall 3 years after they tore it down. At first, I thought it was a mistake. The deposit showed up Thursday morning. $47.12. Not much. Just enough to make me notice. The description on my banking app said Northgate Centre payroll. I stared at it for a while. Northgate Centre had been demolished in 2018. I knew that because I used to work security there. I watched the wrecking crews tear down the food court. I watched them knock over the old movie theater. I watched them reduce the entire place to a field of concrete dust. There wasn't much left now. Just an empty lot on the edge of town. So seeing that payroll deposit felt wrong. Like getting a text message from someone whose funeral you just attended. I figured it was an accounting error. Maybe an old pension fund. Maybe a tax adjustment. I forgot about it. Until the next Thursday. Another deposit. $47.12. And then another. And then another. Every Thursday. Always the same amount. Always from Northgate Centre. After 6 weeks, I called the bank. The woman on the phone sounded confused. She asked me why I wanted to stop an active employer deposit. I told her the employer didn't exist anymore. She put me on hold. When she came back, her voice had changed. Not scared, just careful, like she was choosing her words. She said the Northgate Centre was still listed as an active business account, and then she asked if there was anything else she could help me with. The way she said it made me feel like she wanted the conversation over, so I let it go. For a while. Then one Thursday night my phone rang, and it was an unknown number. I almost ignored it. I wish I had. The voice on the other end was an older woman. Calm. Very professional. The kind of voice you don't hear in doctor's offices. Mr. Mercer? Yeah. We noticed you missed several scheduled shifts. I laughed. I actually laughed. I thought it was a prank. What shift? There was a pause, and papers rustling. Then she said Northgate Security, Thursday evenings, midnight till 6. The laughter died immediately. I hung up. A few seconds later, the phone rang again. It was the same number. I answered. Nobody spoke, but I could hear something faint. Very faint. Mall music. The kind they used to play over the speakers. Soft instrumental versions of old songs. And then the line disconnected. I didn't sleep much that night. The next morning I drove to the lot. I don't know why. Curiosity, maybe. The site was exactly how I remembered it. Chain link fencing, construction weeds, broken pavement. Nothing else. No mall, no buildings, no lights. I stood there for 10 minutes feeling stupid, and then I left. That should have been the end of it. Instead, Thursday came again. Another deposit. Another phone call. This time it was a voicemail. security report to the east entrance. And that was it. No greeting, no explanation. Just that, the east entrance. The thing that bothered me was I knew exactly which entrance they meant. For years I had walked that route. I knew every hallway, every maintenance door, every blind spot teenagers used to hide in. Part of me wondered, what if somebody was inside the property? What if someone was using the old underground utility tunnels? Northgate had plenty of them. I knew because I'd spent half my career chasing leaks down there. So the following Thursday I went back, just before midnight. The lot looked empty. The sky was overcast. No moon, no stars, just darkness. I parked near the fence. I got out. I started walking. Then I saw the lights. At first I thought they were reflections. Then I realized they were coming from somewhere below the ground. Soft yellow light, moving. I followed it. Near the center of the lot I found something I had never noticed before. A service door, half buried in the concrete. The kind of door that should have led to maintenance tunnels. It was standing open. Light spilled out from the inside, and I could hear music. The same music from the phone call. My stomach dropped. I should have left. Any sane person would have. Instead, I walked inside. The stairwell looked familiar. Too familiar. The paint, the handrails, the smell. Everything matched Northgate exactly. 20 steps down the stairs and I reached another door. I pushed it open and I stepped into the mall. Not ruins, not a memory. The mall. It was perfect. Every store, every sign, every bench. Everything exactly as it had been the year before demolition. People walked the corridors. Employees worked cash registers. Shoppers carried bags. Children ran through the halls. Nobody looked surprised to see me. The smell hit me next. Pretzels, coffee, cleaning chemicals. It felt real, too real. I walked for nearly an hour. Nobody questioned me. Nobody stopped. Then I saw someone I recognized. His name was Dean Whitmore. He worked maintenance. Heart attack. Dead for almost 8 years. I attended his funeral. Now he was replacing the ceiling tiles near the old arcade. I froze. Dean looked down. He smiled. Evening. Like nothing was wrong. Like nothing had happened. I turned and walked away fast. I wanted out. I found the stairwell. I found the service door. I opened it and I stepped into another corridor. Not outside, but back inside the mall. I tried again. Same thing. Different hallway. Every exit led back into the building. Every door. Every emergency staircase. Every loading dock. The mall simply refused to let me leave. That's when I started noticing something else. The people. Not all of them were dead. Some were, I knew that. But others looked familiar in a different way. People from missing person posters. Faces I've seen on the local news. Faces that had simply vanished. Some looked confused. Some looked exhausted. Most just kept shopping, like they were sleepwalking. I eventually found security, or what passed for security. The woman inside the old office, gray blazer, short black hair, and a name tag that said Marjorie. She looked older than everyone else, calm, patient, like she'd had this conversation before. "You're upset," she said. "No kidding. You haven't adjusted yet." "Adjusted to what?" I asked. She folded her hands. Then she said the sentence that changed everything. "Northgate doesn't serve shoppers." I stared at her. "What does that mean?" She smiled. Not kindly, not cruelly, just knowingly. "People think this place collects the dead." My mouth went dry. "Doesn't it?" "No." The smile widened slightly. "The dead are easy." I didn't understand. Then she leaned forward and said, "It collects the forgotten." The room suddenly felt colder. She pointed toward the mall, beyond the office windows, toward the crowds, toward hundreds of people moving through the corridors. Most of them are still alive. I felt my stomach drop. What? When enough people stop thinking about you, you arrive here. I laughed. A nervous, stupid laugh. "That's insane." "Is it?" She opened a file drawer and pulled out a folder. My name was on it. I stared. I couldn't breathe. Marjorie opened the folder. Inside were photographs. My co-workers, my neighbors, my ex-wife, my brother, my parents. Every photo had notes attached, dates, comments, memories. One by one they became shorter, smaller, less detailed, until eventually there was almost nothing. A single sentence from my brother, a Christmas card, an old social media post, then blank pages. I looked up confused, terrified. "What is this?" I asked. Marjorie answered quietly, "This is your life." I felt sick. "My life?" She nodded. Then she said, "You weren't called here because you missed shifts." She slid her folder toward me. "No one remembered to tell you." I couldn't speak. Marjorie looked genuinely sympathetic. For the first time. Then she delivered the final blow. "Mr. Mercer." She tapped the death certificate clipped inside the folder. The date on it was 3 years old. The exact day the payroll deposit started. "You've been working here the entire time." The last thing I remember is staring at the death certificate, then at the photo attached beside it. It was me, or what used to be me. Face pale, eyes closed, coroner's photograph. 3 years old, 3 years dead, 3 years forgotten. The next Thursday, my paycheck arrived on schedule. $47.12. And tonight, in about 20 minutes, my shift starts again. The strange thing isn't that the mall is there. The strange thing is that every week it keeps getting bigger. And every week there are more people inside. People who don't know that they've arrived yet. People who still think they're going home. Just like I did. Sleep tight. Or don't. From dusk till dawn.